team. One dream. One family.
30, 20, 10, touchdown Miami! One, two, three,
Hello, Miami Dolphin fans, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Dolphins Talk podcast. In fact, this is a very special episode because it is a sneak preview of an episode that we did recently for Dolphins Talk Xtra, drafting the top 12 Miami Dolphins of the 21st century. It's just an opportunity for us to give you a little taste of what you can expect if you join us over at Dolphins Talk Xtra. This is one of the bonus podcasts that we just did this week. And we hope that you'll enjoy it. Check it out. It's just a preview. It's not the full episode. We'll give you the first half of the draft or so. You can check that out. And if you think it looks like fun, you want to check it out, head on over patreon.com/Dolphins Talk, and you can become part of the Dolphins Talk Xtra family for as little as $5 a month. We have a whole lot of fun over there, and we're going to be doing bonus episodes all throughout training camp, all throughout the season, and all throughout the off season. We also talk about some of the contests that we're running, fantasy games, and there it's all interactive, and you can come join us and hang out with us over there at Dolphins Talk Xtra. So enjoy this little bit of a preview of the Dolphins Talk Xtra podcast that we just did this week, drafting the top 12 Miami Dolphins of the 21st century. And if you like it, head on over to patreon.com/Dolphins Talk and join the fun for as little as $5 a month. See you soon. Go Dolphins. Dolphins Talk Extra. What's happening? How you guys doing? Don't everybody respond all at once.
I was waiting for Mike. I thought we were going in, counterclockwise order, but I don't even know if that's how everybody else is seeing it. That's how it shows up on my screen.
Yeah.
But anyway,
No, I'm doing good. I'm doing well.
Good.
How are you guys doing? We're almost to training camp, really.
It's really technically it's already begun because
Technically it
rookies
has,
have reported. Yes. They're there. They're not actually practicing yet, but it's actually begun.
I mean, we got uniform schedules. We got guys going on PUP. We got a quarterback who's going to work out for us next week. We got news, like actual real news.
Yeah, it's all starting now. It's all really beginning.
it feels like we finally turned the corner and we've made it out of the doldrums of the off season.
Yes.
This off season, you know, once you got past the draft, you know, I guess it's kind of good the way that they kind of dripped out the contract extensions, because it kind of gave us something to talk about for a couple weeks at a time. So they kind of spaced it out, which was nice that they did that. They were really, you know, considerate of the Dolphins media and the people that are covering the team. Because now here we are. It's like August is right around the corner. It's time to get training camp started, and before you know it, we're going to have fake football, and then pretty soon after that, we'll have real football.
It's
Two
great.
things real quick. Number one, last night on the fish tank, prior to us live on the air, I was talking to Chris Perkins, and I go, you know, Chris, this is going to be the new normal. The days of Chris Greer, he was all over June and July trying to find old guys to sign. He was signing guys all summer. I don't think that's ever going to be the case with John Eric Sullivan. I don't think he wants – I think it's going to be a lot of, you know, once you have the draft, that's it. Seeing camp type of deal. He's going to do his work prior to the draft and at the draft. I don't see him out there. Even if he did have more money, he didn't have 180. I think this is going to be more – I mean, look, he might sign a guy here or a guy there, like in the summer. But the point is, drastic change. It's going to be quieter summers, I think, with John Eric Sullivan. The other thing, it was a thought I had, nothing to do with Perkins. With Tyreek Hill gone, a lot of there's like a whole news cycle of like every other week, something happening just went away. Because Tyreek kept it interesting in the offseason. Like, it was plus-size models in his backyard. He's breaking their legs. He's slapping around guys at a marina. It's, you know, he's getting tossed out of a comedy club, road rage incidents. Like, it was something every other week of like big news story to sort of like talk about. Like, with him gone, the news cycle just went silent.
Well, I think, and I don't want to draw any conclusions. I don't want to say that causation equals or correlation equals causation here, but I will say, and you mentioned this the other day on your show, where you said that the Dolphins finally have an adult in the room, and we've talked about this in the really basically ever since the John Eric Sullivan signing was announced. We talked about the idea that there's finally an adult in the room now with this team, and I think you may be able to say, and again, correlation does not equal causation, but however, you can say that the fact that there is an adult in the room now is also impacting that kind of off-field drama and the kind of messiness that has seemed to just kind of linger around the Dolphins. Even before Tyreek Hill, you had drama with Xavier Howard, and you had drama with other players around the team. It's always just kind of been a thing, that this cloud that's kind of hanging over the Dolphins. You had drama, conflicts with the head coach, with Brian Flores not getting along with new guy every year. It seemed like somebody wasn't getting along with him. And then the same thing happened with Mike McDaniel and the locker room. Like nobody was on the same page. It was just a mess. Now, a lot of it could be the fact that they've turned the page. They've started a new chapter. It's too early for those kind of intra-team conflicts to have developed. But, early on, you might just say, listen, we've got an adult in the room, and right now everything is quiet. Everybody seems to be keeping it all together. It all seems nice and tidy and good, and everything is headed in the right direction. And the vibes, despite the fact that I think any objective observer or analyst or anybody covering the team looks at this team and goes, it's very difficult to see this team winning like 8 or 9 games at the absolute most, is probably like the very highest possible end of things. So you look at this is not a team that's going to be competing to win a championship this year. It's not a team that's going to be competing to get to the playoffs this year. It's a very young team. And while the outlook in general for this season in terms of quote unquote success is not bright, the vibes around the team are still actually as good and clean and refreshing as they've been in a really long time. And that, I think, kind of speaks volumes to what John Eric Sullivan is implemented and the way that he has approached this offseason by putting a plan in place, by coming out and making a clear statement on his first day in the building. And then basically everything that he's done since then has been true to the statement that he made on the first day. So I don't want to get too carried away. I'm not being sold on anything. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not none of that stuff. But as you look at it thus far, you can look at it and you go, okay, all right. So far, so good.
Yeah, it's so far so good, but it's like, come on, they haven't played any football games yet.
No, of course not.
The vibes are always great until you start losing football games.
It was great last year.
Great for the
Great
Dolphins
last year, then we walked into Indy and it went away quick.
Exactly.
In the first quarter, we're fucked.
The entire offseason, all we heard about was how, the culture is different. The culture is different. And after 1 week of getting destroyed, they were having a players only meeting. So let's pump the brakes a little bit. I like what John Eric Sullivan has done. You made a good point. Like, he came out, he was very straightforward. He said, we're going to do this. And he did that. And I think that's cool. That's nice. It's refreshing. Great. Let's see what happens. Like, it's not about, necessarily how many games you win this season, but is the team progressing? We know there's a talent disparity between what the Dolphins are putting out there. I mean, look, half their cap space is dead cap. So it's they're literally playing with a hand behind their back. They're not expected to be good. You said 8 or 9 wins at the top. I'd feel good if they won 4 or 5.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you.
So let's see what the vibes look like once they start actually playing football games. John Eric Sullivan, I like these contract extensions that he's given out. He hasn't broken the bank. He's given out fair market deals that seem like they've actually been team friendly. And to get guys to take those types of extensions when your team is in a rebuild, that's noteworthy. And I think he deserves a lot of credit. Brandon Shore, who supposedly is like the guy in charge of negotiating these contracts, he deserves a lot of credit. And that's all well and good. But there's a lot left to play out, including specifically games. So
Of course.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah, the vibes are good on July 23rd.
Which, as I said before, the vibes are almost always good for the Dolphins on July 23rd. But listen, we're not here to rehash this offseason today. We're here because it's a very special episode of Dolphins Talk Extra, and we are going to today spend some time drafting the top 12 Miami Dolphins of the 21st century. But before we get into the draft, this portion of the show today is being made available for free to all Dolphins Talk podcast listeners. So whether you're listening in audio form in the Dolphins Talk podcast feed, if you're watching it on the Dolphins Talk YouTube channel, welcome in for the first part of the show today. We're giving you a little bonus preview of what goes on behind the paywall here at Dolphins Talk Extra. And we hope that you will consider joining us as we get ready to really start to ramp things up here. We've had shows going on all off season long here on Dolphins Talk Extra. So same old Dolphin show that my brother and I do together on the Dolphins Talk YouTube channel and the podcast network all during the year. We haven't done a regular free episode since I think April or May. It's been a little while since we've done a free episode, but we've been churning them out regularly, whether it's solo shows, shows with Mike, shows together behind the paywall. We're doing it. We've been keeping it up at least once a week, and we're going to keep that going all throughout the season with bonus episodes, bonus podcasts here on Dolphins Talk Extra. So we hope that you'll join us for those throughout the season as we get going, even after the free shows come back. And of course, as a member of Dolphins Talk Extra, you also get access to our Discord server where we got a lot of great conversation that is usually nowhere near as toxic as you get on, but usually it's always nowhere near as toxic as what you get on social media. It's a much better place to be. And it's a lot of fun. And then in addition to that, we also have games and contests throughout the season. Last year, we had our fantasy football league. We had our survivor pool. We had our picks league where we were picking all the games each week. And we gave away a lot of great prizes. We gave out last year, we gave out was it the Jarvis Landry helmet?
We gave out a Cam Wake autograph helmet, a Jarvis Landry autograph helmet, a Dwight Stevenson full-size autograph helmet from Alabama. I think we had a Tyreek Hill autograph helmet. We had a bunch of prizes.
And we've given away 72 Mercury Morris jersey.
Mercury Morris autograph jersey.
Yeah. We've had a lot of great prizes here. And
here's the feedback I need. I need one bit of feedback. So folks, put this in the comments or just reach out to me on social media. If a prize this year from one of these was a full-size authentic, not the cheap little authentic, what they were in the field, full-size helmet autographed by Tua, would anyone even want it?
Let us know.
If people want it, I will use it as a prize. But if no one wants it, then why have it a prize? Because no one's going to care. So let me know in the comments. Reach out to me on social media if you want that as a prize for one of the contests this year.
So we are getting ready right now on the Patreon to launch this year's fantasy football league, this year's survivor pool, this year's picks competition. Obviously, you got a little bit more time before the picks competition and the survivor pool. Like those will be open for anybody to sign up all the way up until the season starts. But for the fantasy league, we need to get that figured out as soon as possible. So, I mean, probably shortly after this episode goes live, I'm going to put out a post in the Patreon asking our subscribers who wants to play fantasy football. And once we figure out how many people want to be involved this year, and again, all you got to do is subscribe. Dolphins Talk or patreon.com/Dolphins Talk, $5 a month. Once you're in, you gotta be a subscriber all the way through the season in order to win. You can't like sign up, be in for a month or two, and then quit being part of the Patreon and then win the fantasy league. You don't get the prize if that happens. You got to stay involved all season.
And don't quit the league in the middle.
And don't quit the league in the middle. We had a lot of people do that last year. We got a list.
Yes. We have a list. So if you quit last year at any point in the middle, we're probably not going to let you play this year because that's just not fair to everyone else.
Yeah. So if we want those people who are ever going to use those spots to be people that participate. And I've got a few ideas of how we might do it. Last year we had, I think, 2 separate 14-team leagues that we operated, and it was a little bit unwieldy. So we're kicking around ideas for how we might do it this year. I think it's, as always, it'll be first come, first serve, but we're trying to figure out what is the number of people that we can get. I've got a number of different ideas, including maybe having a league that is up to 24, 28 teams, and having it be shallow teams, no bench. So you draft your team at the beginning of the year, and if you want to drop, there's still waivers. With Fab, you can drop a player, pick somebody up off of waivers, but they can't just sit on your bench. You got your lineup. That's your lineup. That's one of the ideas I'm kicking around. I don't know. We got a few thoughts out there, but it ultimately depends on how many people are involved, how many people want to play, and what everybody's thoughts are of who wants to play. And once we know that information, we'll be able to make those decisions. So make sure you head over to patreon.com/DolphinsTalk to sign up. And then you can get involved with that fantasy football conversation with us and maybe play in those leagues. So, all right. It is now time to dive in to this draft. So this idea was inspired by an episode of the Heed the Call podcast where they went around and they picked the single best player of each team in the NFL of the 21st century. And I thought, this might be a fun conversation to figure out who are the top, at the time it was like, what are the top 10 in the top 10 Miami Dolphins of the 21st century. And then I thought, well, rather than just making the top 10 list, what if we do it in draft format? Because that's been kind of one of our gimmicks here on Dolphins Talk Extra, is that we do these drafts. We've drafted Christmas movies. We've drafted Thanksgiving foods. We've drafted barbecue foods, cookout foods. We've drafted candy. We've drafted so many things. I said, now it's time to draft the top Miami Dolphins of the 21st century. Since there's 3 of us participating, we'll each get 4 picks and we'll figure out who the top 12 are. And then I figure after that, we could talk about any of the honorable mentions that we want to have. But so there's been another thing that's going on. If you've been part of Dolphins Talk Extra for a while, you've seen this, that I'm typically the one that is organizing the draws, organizing the drafts, whether it's for fantasy football, whether it's for one of our Dolphins Talk Extra drafts. I'm always the one that's pulling the names out of the hat. And I have actively drawn myself number 1 multiple times. I promise I haven't been cheating, but I constantly have picked myself to be number 1. So today I said, forget it. I'm not doing it this time. I'm giving Aaron the responsibility of pulling the names out of the hat so that he can choose me number 1 overall.
I hope Josh gets number 1 so bad.
I honestly think every time that we've done this in some iteration, you have been the number 1 pick. I don't think it's been multiple times. I think it's been every time. So
since I've been here, yeah.
Should we just get this thing started?
Yeah, let's get going.
All right. I got the Dolphins hat here. First pick. This is not going to be, well, how do we want to do this? Do we want to just do it first pick, second pick, third pick? Or do we want to, I pick the name and then the name and then whoever
they get to pick where they want.
They get to pick where they want. Okay. All right. First one is not Josh. It's Mike.
Oh.
I'm going to go. Give me number 3.
Oh. Interesting. Okay. I like it.
That's where I was leaning. That's where I wanted to go too. Second choice, I should say, goes to Josh.
No. So I get to pick?
Go 1.
Which
so
means,
if I pick 1,
just to show you that this is all on the up and up. I was the one.
Yes, because I'm sure people at home are really worried about that this is fixed.
They're worried about it. They're very worried. I'll pick first. It's fine.
All right. I'll get the second pick.
All right. Are we ready? Let's dive in.
All right.
I mean, to me, the number 1 is there's 2 players that are really the number 1 player for the Miami Dolphins in in the 21st century. And to me, I think the winner, I mean, it's so tough, but ultimately for me, the winner is Zach Thomas.
Wow. Oh,
See, I would have went the other way only because the other one made the Hall of Fame on the first ballot.
exactly.
That's
Zach,
true.
It took a few years. But
That's true.
1, 2, 2, 1. It's like you're splitting hairs.
But when you look at the years, the All Pro years that Zach Thomas had, when you look at the Pro Bowl years Zach Thomas had, Zach Thomas was Taylor on the team that won the playoff game?
Yes.
Yeah, so they were both. On the team.
Yeah. He was on there.
But so they both won the playoff game. It's very close to me. It's very close. But I'm going Zach Thomas. I just one of my favorite Miami Dolphins of all time. I mean, as is the other guy. So let's be honest. But they're both spectacular players. To me, when you look at the All Pro numbers, when you look at the Pro Bowls, I mean, it all adds up. And I mean, this guy was the heart of the franchise for a long time, and it's hard to go any other way than Zach Thomas. Or, you know, I think this is not a number 1 and number 2. It's more of a 1A and a 1B, if anything.
Yeah, I agree.
But you know, Zach Thomas for me.
All right.
Watch Aaron fuck it up.
Look, I don't want to compare Zach Thomas to Greg Oden because Zach Thomas is a Hall of Famer. But this, I did not in any world expect the only first ballot Hall of Famer available in this draft to fall to me at number 2. Jason Taylor, no-brainer pick. I got Jason. And I'll say this, Zach Thomas is my favorite Dolphin of all time. So I was happy to be number 2 thinking, oh, I'm going to get Zach Thomas, my favorite Dolphin of all time. But I'll take the first ballot Hall of Famer, Jason Taylor.
For what it's worth, on the Heed the Call show, they were split between Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor.
Yeah, I mean,
It
it
both
really
got
is
mentions on the show. So.
Really is splitting hairs, honestly.
I will say this. I mean, you've got defensive player of the year, 6-time Pro Bowl, 131 sacks, and you know, at the end of the day, only first ballot Hall of Famer on this list, available because they played from 2000 because of the Dolphins. I mean, there's really only at this point they have 2 active Hall of Famers, which is Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas. Those are off the board. They may have
should put in one caveat too. This is from the year 2000 on. Marino technically played his last game in the year 2000. True. We're not going to count that though. That shouldn't count. Right. That should not count.
No, and Marino did nothing in the 2000s.
Oh, 62-7. Oh no, he just played one game in the year 2000. Right. That's it.
All right, so you at number 3.
All right, and because I think there's 4 no-brainers in this list of 12, so I'm going to take the last 2. One of them is more likable than the other. The next one is Ricky Williams. Yes, he quit on the team to go smoke dope in Southeast Asia. I get it, but he did come back eventually. So he did come home, and the fan base loved him. He was exciting to watch. He's a likable guy, even with all the off the field stuff he did in that time. I know fans nowadays sort of overlook it and kind of forgive him for that. I had him on the podcast. I told him, I don't know if you understand this. You are one of the most beloved Miami Dolphins players in modern times, because he really is. The fans just love him. He could do no wrong. So that's number 3. And number 4, he's an asshole, but he was our asshole. Tyreek Hill's he's on the list. He's got to be this high too, because he produced a wide receiver better than any wide receiver in Miami Dolphins history. I know Paul Warfield, that was a whole different era, so it's tough to compare him, but he didn't have Marino throwing him the ball like Clayton and Duper did. Tyreek Hill we know who he had throwing him the ball, and he was electric. And Tyreek Hill is my number 4 pick.
I mean, I definitely expected Tyreek Hill to end up on the list. A little
He's
surprised
a no-brainer.
He ended up that high. I'm a little surprised he ended up that high, but I mean, I can't disagree with the points that you made.
Let's be honest too.
One of the most impactful players this team has ever had.
We haven't won a playoff game in 25 years. After 1 and 2, it's kind of a thin list. I mean, there's names that we can have a list, but when you're talking like Hill is going to the Hall of Fame. Period. He might be an
Sure.
asshole and no one likes him, but he's going to the Hall of Fame. He's that good. So he's got to be this high.
Yeah. So with this on the board, I'm looking at a few names that to me, I kind of have all similar. And I know that, like, you know, we kind of talked about this off air, you know, I think on the Discord in a little private chat about, like, you know, I'm not really caring about the positions. We're just going like best player available. But you know how I do it with the Thanksgiving plate. I like to build my whole plate.
Well-rounded plate.
Yeah, I like a well-rounded plate. I like a well-rounded team. I feel like, and without giving too much away, you know, I've got a great pass rusher. And then I'm looking at another pass rusher, and then I'm looking at some really great defensive backs, but I'm like guaranteed to get one of the great defensive backs. So I think I'm going to go out there, and I've got the best pass rusher in Dolphins history and a first ballot Hall of Famer in Jason Taylor. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to take the second best pass rusher in Dolphins history and have the best pass rush in this draft by taking Cam Wake with this pick.
Worthy pick. He deserves it.
Yeah, that's a great pick. That was one of the guys that I was thinking about. I was sitting there, is he going to fall to me? Is he going to come all the way back to me? But it didn't work out. So that's, you know, that's all right. That's all right. I've got other picks. As you mentioned, there's some fantastic defensive backs available to me. And I think that is where I am going to go next here. In fact, I might go with, like, this was one of, in fact, I get two picks here. I might take two of them off the board right now, back to back, just because it is so perfect in terms of, these were really enjoyable players to watch when the Dolphins, they started their careers, both of them, when technically not in the 21st century, but I'm going to go Sam Madison and Pat Surtain back to back. I got to take them here. I think they're both outstanding. When you look at the numbers that they put up, both had all pro seasons, both numerous Pro Bowls. And there was a time where that was just such a lockdown pair of defensive backs. That cornerback combination of Madison and Surtain, I mean, it was unbeatable. Nothing was for sure, but one thing was Surtain, and I loved it. So I'm going Sam Madison and Pat Surtain. And that's it for the preview. Hope you enjoyed it. Once again, if you want more great Miami Dolphins content like this, it's fun, it's bonus, it's extra on top of all the other great stuff that you get here in the main Dolphins Talk feed. We invite you to join us at Dolphins Talk Xtra, patreon.com/Dolphins Talk, and you can join the fun for as little as $5 a month. Once again, patreon.com/Dolphins Talk. We'll see you over there. Go Dolphins!